Hey, Bob, best guy in the world, right?
No, we're all magnificent. Just some people have forgotten.
So, welcome everybody, and we are here with you again, the great guy Bob Eden and myself, Anne. It's Friday, December 13th in US and Europe, and Saturday, December 14th in Australia. And in Sweden today, we celebrate Lucia, like the candle lady with a lot of candles and stuff in the darkest times of the year. So that's a wonderful thing. You are watching Bob Eden, the Spiritual Mechanic Show on Cosmic Guardians with host Bob and Anne. And today we are going to talk about something very intriguing, my greatest fears. Plus, of course, we take your questions if you want to. So don't hesitate to write your questions in one of the chat rooms. We are eager to connect with you. And our last show on Cosmic Guardians, we had a little bit of a hiccup streaming. I blame Facebook for that, or maybe StreamYard, I don't know. But anyway, we made it in the end. That was Wednesday, December 11th in US and Europe, and Thursday, December 12th in Australia. We ended up being myself and the special guest, Elena the Greek, discussing Guided by the Divine, a journey with angels, ascended masters, and higher beings of co creation. And the last show on Bobby Eden, the Spiritual Mechanic Show, was Friday, December 6th and Saturday, December 7th in Australia. And we were talking about recent turning points in the trajectory of humanity. So, you can always connect with us, find upcoming shows, find Bob, find me, find Corrine, find our guests, past episode, read articles and more at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And yeah, so you're so welcome. Now it's your time, Bob. I'm talking too much here, right? So how are you? What's up?
I don't know. I think I'll just stick to the topic.
You think that's better, right?
Yeah, I could spend half an hour just describing about how I am and how I'm feeling at the moment. And that rustling noise in the background is Skipper eating my bag of potato chips.
Okay.
Yeah, so my greatest fears. Ah, I suppose my biggest fear at the moment, currently with what I'm going through, is having to live in pain. And I've had enough pain in my life, and yeah, I got burnt when I was about 4.5. Not very badly, just on the arm. I tripped over the hearth and sort of fell into the fireplace. And then just before that, no, it was after it. Luckily, um, no, it was before it actually. When I was younger, I I sucked on the pipe of a metal container that
Sorry, I'm
held
laughing. Sorry, I'm
kerosene.
laughing with Skipper.
Yeah, he's having fun. He's having fun. Let him go. So yeah, I managed to fill my stomach with paraffin when I was about 3.5. Luckily, I didn't do
Oh,
it just before I fell in the fire, eh? And then when I was 19, I had a bad car crash, got smashed up. Um, and then the biggest one, I suppose, the biggest pain was spring of 1984 when I was involved in a gasoline fire and I was really badly burnt. And I've never experienced such pain and actually stayed conscious. And then fast forward to recent times with my prostate cancer thing and the pain that's come out of that, which around about January, February time was probably about a level 8 when being burnt was a level 10. But now, I'm down to a level 1 occasionally. you know, but it's always hanging there, you know. If I stop doing what I'm doing, will it, you know, will I fall back into that hellish pain? So that's my
Yeah.
biggest fear. And because I'm going the natural remedy route, the doctor's information is almost totally relevant. He's very supportive of what I'm doing, but he's just focused on PSA results and blood test results and stuff, and that's what he's using to measure the progress of what I'm doing. But for me, my yardstick is what's my quality of life like. So yeah, sometimes I just want to, you know, just cry, just cry. You know, I've had enough pain. I'm over it, you know. Oh dear. Oh. Good old
And
skipper.
you know, in a spiritual sense, these are among our biggest challenges, to not let ourselves get stuck in that loop of fear. Of course, everything, you know, even if we can heal things, we have a lot of things. We have our response. We have a lot of tools in our box that we can use. But there are also things that we feel are very, very out there. It's like when we are, as you expressed your pain, the fear of pain. And I think everybody can relate to that. Nobody wants to have pain. It's the worst thing one can have, right? And when you are at a place where you feel like on the other side of that door, there's my pain. It can come any time for me, right? But you have seen progress. I like that. That's
Yeah,
beautiful. If you
you
come
like
from
it.
eight
I
to
love
one,
it.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, that, that for me, there's always a huge spiritual component to anything that I feel in my body, and I just this thought came to me the other day, like um, the chrysalis has to dissolve before the new butterfly can be born. So um, that adds some comfort, you know. Like part of me is in a sort of dissolving process, ready for rebirth. I just hope it's not a long gestation period.
That is a good way of putting it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just recently had a call from a doctor about abnormal LFT results, which is liver function test results, and it's like I'm going ho hum. Okay, I'll go and see the radiologist and have another ultrasound. But my response to that was, yeah, okay, but you know, my quality of life's improving, so I must be doing something right. And
Yeah.
the treatments I'm using at the moment, I've just noticed that I used to be, you know, I performed concerts and I had a really good voice for folk music anyway. But I hadn't used it for years, and I tried singing a few months ago, and it was really, really horrible and croaky. But it's actually getting better, and I put that down to the, you know, the baking soda and chlorine dioxide and stuff that I'm using, and uh, my eyes have cleared up. They used to have loads and
Good.
loads of little red lines, and I used to have big red sort of areas over my eyebrows, my skin's all, yeah. So on balance, I just feel that what I'm doing is the right thing to do. Um, but also, I need to shift my focus to the prime contributor to my body's state of disease, which was the overprescription of fluoroquinolone antibiotics. They're like the atom bomb of antibiotics, and there's a whole movement growing globally now to seek redress and recovery from what is known as being floxed. So I was floxed about 18 months ago, and yeah. So, but that's good. You know, it's another field to another journey of discovery to find out natural
It
remedies
is.
for that. Yeah, yeah.
So
So
how your one of your greatest fears, right, is pain and what you're going through. But how do you personally conquer that? What is your strategy for yourself?
uh, well, my little hot tub with calcium hypochlorite in the water and a pH of 8, um, and as hot as I can stand, to 2 or 3 sort of 10, 15, 20 minute soaks during the day. My favorite one is about 3 o'clock in the morning, and lying back there and looking up at the stars and the moon, and the world's quiet, and I can smell there's a little tang coming off the pool, which is like going into my lungs and helping clean them up as well. So it's an all round win win. And back to a change of diet, but back to the carnivore diet, and that's just absolutely brilliant for balancing out the body. And then just simple ingredients like baking soda and borax and iodine and DMSO, and there's so many treatments out there for cancer. So yeah, and that's my little recipe. I've got a I've got a 2-page thing. If anybody's interested, I can email to anybody. Yeah, right. So that's pain.
That's pain. And do you have any more fears?
Yeah, I've got a whole list of them here. Otherwise, it's going to be a short show, isn't it? Is I still have a little fear of losing control, losing the plot, um, which, from my understanding of emotional healing, losing the plot is one of the most beneficial things anybody can ever do. Just allowing their body just to do what it needs to do in that moment. Shake, rattle, roll, scream, just, just lose the plot. Um, and I think that fear of losing control is like probably applies to everybody in civilized society, because everybody believes that they've got to behave
Yeah.
in a certain way, and if they start screaming and frothing at the mouth in the supermarket, they're going to get locked up for life. Yeah. Ah. So have you ever let yourself go and just go? Have you ever got to that stage where you just
Yeah.
yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah, I've done that a few times, and sometimes you just need it.
Yeah,
It can be when I'm with myself, or it can be anywhere where I am. So if I reach my point, I'm going to show that. I've no trouble with that.
yeah,
But I have a lot of patience, and I usually it's not like not acknowledging, but I pick and choose very carefully what I step into. So it's like sometimes I can feel like a goose, when you pour water on a goose, it's sliding away. So, but I think it's wonderful to come to a place where you don't dig into everything. When I was younger, I had a lot of Swedish woman, a lot of Greek temper, right? So I jumped into many, many, many things, but I learned to pick and choose. But when I have reached my limit, the world is going to know that. Or also, you know, managing your life. So, because today in our society, for instance, something that can be difficult for me is social media, and I have so many notifications when I wake up, and I know that people, there are some of them, I have friends around the globe. I'm not talking about you. Um, and they message and they message, and then when you answer, you're going to have to message again 50 times. And if you have 10 of them each day, or you have 20 of them, it is not going to be doable, right? So learning also to be able to say no to certain things or rest, not feeling like, in the old days, we had a landline. If people couldn't reach you, they were not um, becoming nervous or anything. They tried later on or the next day. And today, if people can't reach you, you don't answer in 2 hours, they're going to ask you, "Are you okay?"
Well,
Yeah,
I have
you know what I mean.
yeah, I have a different approach. Yeah, for me, it's not it's entirely not a thinking process. It's a feeling process, and when these feelings build up, um, I I just always give my body permission to do what it needs to do to heal. And the only thing I do is choose the time and location, because I know that what's coming up just wants me just my body just to go gaga for a while and thrash around a bit. And so I I know when my body needs to do that, and then I make sure I'm in an appropriate location.
Maybe that's a good idea, a smart idea.
Yeah, well, it was easy when I was living on the boat, and it's easy where I am in the caravan now, because there's nobody around for most of the time. So, but screams can carry a long way, so I like to do my screaming underwater, deafen the whales. Oh,
Yeah, but
so I mean, yeah,
scream can be very relieving, when you feel for I have something, I just need to get it out there. Or um, learning also during our life to manage, and that's where my way of doing it, uh, managing my stuff in a way that makes me find peace easier. Does that make sense to you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, for instance, if I feel totally out of alignment with someone, I'm not going to interact with them, no matter if it's the king himself, um, because it doesn't mean I'm going to be rude or anything. But we can pick and choose, and we can always say no. And everybody's not loving me either.
yeah.
But there
Well,
are certain people sometimes where you don't. People say it's a relative. You have to. And I say, I don't have to do anything, right?
yeah, well, it goes back to KISS. Keep it simple, sovereign. Um,
Yeah,
in any situation, I just ask myself this question: is this relationship, is this connection nurturing for me? If it's not, it's gone. Simple.
yeah,
Is this
simple.
nurturing for me? That's it.
Mm.
Um, Another fear I have is of dying alone, you know, and yeah, I don't suppose it would really matter, but yeah, that how I live. Like nobody comes to see me. Well, maybe once or twice a week. I could be dead for a fortnight, down here, and nobody would know. But
Yeah,
I just thought of a solution. I'll get one of those little like alarm watches. If you fall over and you think you're having a stroke, you just press the button and it phones your best friends and the ambulance service and that. Yeah, so that's one way of uh, dealing with that fear. And probably the last one, I've just got I would be really pissed off if I died before I completed my mission. Are you listening, God? You know, you know, because that's what's driving me. My mission to eradicate suicide and to just to try and show through example that how important doing the inner work is, especially in current society where everybody's so busy, busy, busy in the external world, and there's they allocate no time for or very little time for the internal work, which is,
Yeah.
where my reality comes from. It comes from within me, and and I know lots of people in the health and recovery and counselling movement. They're on this committee and that committee, and they're running this group and that group and that, and flying from here to there to blah, blah, blah. And I think, they barely have time left in their life to eat and sleep, let
Yeah.
alone go on the inward journey. And I know that I was guilty of that in the early 80s. Like, by keeping myself busy was a great excuse. No, I haven't got time to do that. I haven't got time to do John Bradshaw's work. I haven't got, no. And yeah, that was denial.
Yeah, it is. And I call it distraction. This world is full with distractions.
Yeah.
But we still are the powers of ourselves, right? So we are the masters of our lives, the captains, as I think you usually say that, right? So we are steering the ship. So therefore, we need to manage our time, right? And there are really no excuses. I take a nap every day. I don't care.
Mm.
I take my nap because my body feels for having a nap, right? And
Yeah, I feel
usually people today don't. Go ahead, say.
like, oh, I love spending hours lucid dreaming in that state between sleeping and awake. I love it because that's when I get all my downloads. Like my book came to me through being, in that lucid dreaming state. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Oh,
It's
you talk
beautiful.
talk about you take a nap. I think
Yeah,
I really feel in need of a nap. I'm sort of fading fast here, so uh, my apologies to everybody. But I think I've shared what my fears are, and that's good to get it out there.
that's good.
Uh,
Yeah,
um, yeah, and I think this evening I'll find a really tearful movie and watch that, and that will help me release a bit more. So thank you for this half hour of release, Anne, and sorry to cut you short, but
no, it's okay.
yeah, I think it's
Thank,
best to be
thank.
yeah, I think it's best to be real, natural, and authentic. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So I just do the end of show and thank you for. It doesn't matter, it's the quality of being right here now and sharing the story, right?
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you. You have been watching Bob Eden, the Spiritual Mechanic Show with host Bob and Ann. We talked about my greatest fears. And next show on Cosmic Guardians is going to be Cosmic Sisters with Anne and Corrine on Wednesday, December 18th in US and Europe, and the same December 19th in Australia, discussing the gift of giving and receiving. So you want to join us, you're welcome, always, right? And next show with Bob Eden, the Spiritual Mechanic Show, that's going to be Friday, December 20th and Saturday, December 21st in Australia. What's that going to be about?
Um, how to sleep standing up? No, I'm joking.
How-
I don't have one yet, but something's bubbling, and as soon as it pops in front, I'll let you know.
Absolutely. So What do you say then? I say love, light, peace, and joy to everybody. A lot of healing and compassion and everything. And what do you say, Bob?
You can do it.
Yeah, you can. Everybody can. Okay?
And, and
Bye.
only you can do it.
Yes, because I'm the master of myself, right? Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Bob. Thank you. Bye.